This is in my bag, but this might change that. Right, everyone, welcome back to the Golf Minded channel. I'm Alex, and today you join me at the wonderful Fox Hills Golf and Country Club. We are on the Bernard Hunt course on the 10th hole, 445 yards. It's going to be a fun day, and I've got two heavyweights in forgiveness going head to head. This is the PING G430 Max 10K, probably the most forgiving driver of 2024. An underdog is coming up against it, the Mizuno ST Max 230. Now, I could touch upon this for a while, but I'll put a link just up here if you guys go check out our review of the brand new PING G430 Max 10K. Very, very popular, but also rather expensive. Now, the Mizuno in general is not really known for metalwoods, but I feel like in 2024 they have made some big strides in drivers and also in the fairway woods themselves. First of all, this is only £449. That is, yes, pounds in English, sterling. That is very cheap. I think this is actually about £599, the Ping. So that is a damn sight cheaper, the Mizuno, than the Ping. What we're getting with the difference, well, I don't think it's too much, but this has the coveted 10,000 MOI that everyone is crazy about in 2024. The Mizuno falls just short. But if you look online, well, they're not that bothered about that because that isn't just one metric. It's not too important. But if we put these head to head, in terms of aesthetical appearance, the most important thing with aesthetics is down at address. Well, there are some big differences. We've got a glossy carbon finish for the Mzuno ST Max 230. And actually, despite it still looking larger than 460 cc's, I think the Ping looks slightly more elongated. Whereas from an aesthetical point of view, I do think the Mizuno looks a little bit nicer. However, this is subjective. People could like how the Ping looks at address because it is bigger. It's got the turbulators. It still has a carbon fly wrap, but 100% it is a little bit louder, as you guys can see with the B-roll that Woody Woods is putting on the screen for you now. The ST Max itself, I've actually used a lot, as you can see by these wonderful strike patterns for the last few weeks. I used it out in Florida with Sofia Popov and a lot more. What I like about it, yes, we've got a new expanded Cortex chamber just by the face, but I think it's got about 54 grams now towards the back of the club. That is so much. I was thinking, there's no chance this is going to be put up. Is it going to put up with my swing speed? I got some beef, 120 mile an hour swing speed. There's no way that spin rate is going to stay consistent, even with the perfect shaft. So, there's only one way to find out. We're going to go over to Custom Golf Works, the mecca to get data for these things. Put it up on a GC quad, PING G430 Max 10K against Mizuno ST Max 230. Let's see how important 10,000 MOI really is. Right, so here I am at Custom Golf Works to compare the PING G430 Max 10K to Mizuno ST Max 230, but I think I need a little bit of help. So, Johnny's here because we need a fast swing speed and a moderate and fast swing speed. 5 handicap, 12 handicap. I will say, Johnny did pretty well as someone who's struggling with his golf game. I asked him to do that on purpose today, so he's hit it all over the face.
Yeah, delighted to be able to have played ball with that request.
Yeah, no, really good.
But I mean, a 12 handicap is not going to play well every day, so it's probably a good measuring stick for how it will actually perform out on course.
And this is one of those days where you need a 10,000 MOI driver or 9,000 or so. We'll look at the stats here, and I'll tell you what, first of all, Johnny, which did you prefer? So, data alone, from this testing.
From this testing, I was hitting the Mizuno a lot better. Started off, I hit 3 kind of perlers, baby draws, moving kind of 3-4 yards in the air. Then it did start to progressively get worse. But I think in terms of overall consistency of strike, yeah, the Mizuno actually pipped it for me.
Yeah, I think what's funny here is, I think what's more important is what we're saying rather than the numbers, because look, those numbers are pretty similar to each other. I found that the Ping was a little bit faster for me, but I think I hit it a little bit better, so I wouldn't focus on that too much. But you can see here that those numbers are, I mean, what was that, the difference of like 30 spin rate, launch angle is the same, ball speed is the same. They're the similar category driver. They're gonna be somewhat similar, but the feel and I think how it looks down at address, I think what I saw with Johnny is for someone who's missed hits, your spin was staying quite consistent. Yes, the spin overall with the Ping is obviously very similar, but some shots are out the toe and out the heel, we're still getting those mid-20s, 2000s or so spin rate, which is really, really good. And I found the same, but I would prefer the Ping from looks down at address. But on a bad day, I don't know.
I agree with you. I prefer this general look of the crown. The Mizuno, it's kind of this kind of two-tone carbon black panel at the front. I actually prefer the head shape, but the finish, I would go pink.
But yeah, weirdly enough, I think for me, the head shape of this looks more forgiving. I think it looks a little bit larger, but from an actual aesthetical appeal, I think that actually looks better. That looks cooler, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one. The Ping, this kind of large footprint, big surface area, looks incredibly forgiving. It just does not quite fit my eye.
Does it not?
No,
Okay.
I do prefer a slightly more compact head, despite the fact that it looks less forgiving. It's something about the aerodynamic look of it. Sure. I think I'm just going to be able to swing it harder and swing it better for some reason. But that is just my personal bias.
That's fair enough. I get what you mean. I mean, I think now, Johnny, back to your dungeon. Okay. Yep. I'm now going to go to Fox Hills and find out what the real difference is off the tee between the Mizuno and the Ping, because it's good getting numbers here, but they're very similar to each other. When there's some pressure and a few people watching on YouTube, well, let's find out and go back to Fox Hills. Right, back at Fox Hills, Bernard Hunt, 10th hole, 445 yards. This is a tough one. I'm siding slightly with the Ping. This is my current gamer, but I do think the Mizuno could oust it and it could go back in my bag. It was in it for a bit. Right now the Ping's got back in there because I feel like it's more forgiving. Notice that the spin rate's really optimal, so did Johnny as well. Notice the spin rate's really optimal across the face with that Mizuno. Let's find out. 4 shots with each. I'm not gonna cry. Oh my Lord. I don't think Mizuno can beat that. But I'm saying that with maybe a hint of bias because of how good I was with that over in Tampa. Uh-oh. Just pulled it. I'm hitting a draw now. That's not that bad though. Okay, so we're seeing dispersion so far. You're looking at what's going on there. More of a club face problem rather than an actual club problem, pilot error there. But I'll be honest, hole that is decidedly quite difficult. Quite difficult, Johnny? Yeah, this is I'm honestly just making sure that ball's in play. Now, that ball might be in a bit of trouble, but it's not right. And that's the main thing I don't want to do here. So we're going to keep going. Oh, hammered. Just getting a little hint to draw now, which is someone who usually hits a fade. Probably left trees as well, just about left trees. But what I'm noticing is, this is why I do try and hit 4 shots with each driver, we're noticing a trend in dispersion. This is really, really consistent. And from my trials and tribulations with the Mizuno, very consistent in the spin rate across the face, but perhaps the overall dispersion may not beat the Ping. Let's see. Oh, Jesus. For left! We are seeing a slightly consistent left miss. I'm fine with that. My worst shot there is left. I may have killed someone in the Peter Jones Foundation. What I want to see with this one is, what's the difference? Similar shaft profile. It's a good looking club, Will. It's a really good looking club. Oh. Interesting. Do I have a strike mark for that? I do. Absolute dead straight. Hot toe, right there. Rory McIlroy wouldn't do that. Interesting. So we're seeing a fade there. Don't lose it. It's fine. Oh, you're fine. You're fine there, Alex. But, so now, we're hitting something, oopsie, we're hitting something that I don't believe I could have done there with the Ping, which is hit a little fade. So perhaps the Ping is a little bit more draw bias. 100% more draw bias. You see that, Will? So perhaps a slightly more fade bias club, which I'll be honest, I really don't like. Nope. Just same again. It's very consistent, but it's just consistently a little bit more fadey. I'm being quite mean here. It's just right at the fairway. It's not a bad shot. I'm just hitting fades all the time with this. Whereas very different, if I just grab this, we're seeing quite interesting difference here. Like these both actually at 9.5, 9 degrees. Both the faces are neutral, but one's going left and one's going right. Now the shaft profiles are very similar. What could that be? Well, I think one might be slightly more biased than the other. And for someone who doesn't want it to go right, well, that's the one. But let me get those balls to finalize my thoughts. So there we have it, a 10,000 MOI driver, a cheating stick against a close friend of his. Which is better? Well, personally, I'm choosing the Ping because my miss is to the right. I think this is a big cheating stick for people who might have an out-to-in swing path. I just feel like it is a little bit more neutral to draw bias, whereas The ST Max 230 is incredible for its overall data numbers. I think that the spin rates and whatnot across the face is incredibly consistent, and it also is quite fast. But I'm more accurate with this, and you might be too. But it could depend from spin rate to swing speed and whatnot. That's why I had Johnny available for the custom golf work session. So guys, let me know down in the comments which one you would choose. Obviously there's a big difference in price. Don't think it's relative. I don't think this is £150 better, but let me know down in the comments what you think. And if you aren't new to Golf Magic, smash that subscribe button too. What's next? What do I compare it to? And should I do a what's in the bag video? We'll find out soon, and I'll catch you on the next video.